Thank you for joining the DC Public Library for Poetry and Pictures, Part 2. This time we'll explore poetry and illustrations. My name is Megan. I'm a children's librarian at the Shaw Library. Here's an example of an illustrated poem. It's an excerpt from A Floral Fantasy in an Old English Garden by Walter Crane, found at the publicdomainreview.org. The snapdragon opened his jaw, but at the sight of a Scotch thistle turned pale. He'd too many points of the law for a dragon without a scale. The pictures of the knight made from thistles and the dragon made from snapdragon flowers help us understand the poem. The illustrations seem to pull us into a fantasy garden of living flowers and magical creatures. What if there was no artwork? Here's a page from The Fairy Queen by Edmund Spenser, also found at the publicdomainreview.org. A gentle knight was riding on the plain, clad in mighty arms and silver shield, wherein old dints of deep wounds did remain. But wait, there are no drawings, no photos, nothing to help us better understand what's going on. The black and white words are a little dull, and I wish there were pictures of the knight on every page. We need illustrations. Storybooks and graphic novels have illustrations, and poems can too. Illustrations are drawings and other pictures that explain something written in a book or in a magazine. Illustrations bring words to life. Let's read a poem written by Paul Laurence Dunbar, the first prominent African American poet in the United States. The Dunbar High School in Washington, D.C. is named after him. This poem by Dunbar belongs to the public domain. Summer in the South. The oriole sings in the greening grove as if he were halfway waiting. The rosebuds peep from their hoods of green, timid and hesitating. The rain comes down in a torrent sweep, and the nights smell warm and piney. The garden thrives, but tender shoots are yellow-green and tiny. Then a flash of sun on a waiting hill, streams laugh that erst were quiet. The sky smiles down with a dazzling blue, and the woods run mad with riot. This poem creates beautiful pictures with words, but I would love to add my own colorful drawings. And so I did. Here's the same poem with drawings of an oriole and some rosebuds. The bird and the flowers add a little color and help me imagine the poem when I read. What would you draw if you were to illustrate the poem? Try illustrating poetry at home with crayons, pencils, or whatever else you have. You may use Summer in the South, or visit the Academy of American Poets at poets.org for more poems. Also, check out DCPL's poetry collection at dclibrary.org. The only rule is to have fun. Thank you for joining the DC Public Library. Visit dclibrary.org/library at home for more activities.